India Global.
India Global.
Hello and welcome to another expedition in our journey of India Global. Join us in our voyage today to explore a country in the Caribbean.
This country is famous for its stunning scenic beauty, noted for its amazing aquatic life,
Known for its unique steel pan music and celebrated for the largest carnival of the Caribbean. This is the twin island country of Trinidad and Tobago.
situated at one end of the Caribbean archipelago with the Caribbean Sea on one side and the Atlantic Ocean on the other. Trinidad and Tobago is a two-island nation located at the crossroads of North, Central and South America. Trinidad, the larger island, is the industrial base, while Tobago has carved its niche in tourism.
Christopher Columbus discovered these two islands in 1498. He gave Trinidad its present name La Isla de la Trinidad, which means the island of the Trinity.
Tobago may have been named after its resemblance to a tobacco pipe used by local inhabitants.
Trinidad and Tobago gained full independence from Britain in 1962.
The country became a republic in 1976, but remains a member of the Commonwealth. Its capital is Port of Spain.
The Republic of Trinidad and Tobago follows the bicameral parliamentary system of government. The President is the head of the state, while the Prime Minister is the executive head. The official language is English. The literacy rate is a high 98%.
In the 19th century, Trinidad and Tobago's economy was dominated first by sugar plantations and later by the cultivation of cacao, from which chocolate is derived. But once oil and natural gas reserves were discovered, Trinidad and Tobago turned into an energy-based economy and an important exporter of crude oil, LNG and petroleum products.
Trinidad and Tobago's GDP is over $27 billion, making it the largest economy in the Caribbean. The per capita income is $20,300. The population of Trinidad and Tobago is 1.3 million. It's often described as the rainbow country. That is because its people comprise a wide spectrum of ethnicities and religions.
People of Indian origin constitute 42% of its population. 36% are of African descent, with the rest being from Europe, Canada and Latin America. This ethnic diversity has led to a rich cultural efflorescence in cuisine, festivals and music.
Soca music, a fusion of the Caribbean soca music which uses Indian instruments like the dholak.
Relations between India and Trinidad and Tobago, based on age-old civilizational values, can be traced back to the mid-19th century. India's High Commissioner to Trinidad and Tobago, Gauri Shankar Gupta, tells us more about the deep-rooted historical bilateral ties between the two countries.
Bilateral ties between India and Trinidad and Tobago goes back to May 1845, when a ship named Fatel Rajak, carrying 225 Indian plantation workers, reached the shores of Trinidad. Between 1845 and 1917, a total of 143,900 Indian indentured workers came to Trinidad. Today, their progeny constitutes 42% of total population of Trinidad and Tobago, and they are playing active and dynamic role in the polity, economy and social life of this country.
High Commissioner Gauri Shankar Gupta also speaks of the high-level bilateral engagements between the two countries.
In the recent times, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Vasudev Pandey, was the chief guest on India's Republic Day in 1997. Prime Minister Atal Bihari Vajpayee paid an official visit to Port of Spain in 1999. Dr. Manmohan Singh came here in 2009. And the incumbent Prime Minister Kamla Prasad Bisesa was the chief guest at the Pravasi Bharatiya Divas 2012.
Kamla Prasad Bisesa, the present and the first woman Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago, is of Indian origin.
The bilateral trade agreement between India and Trinidad and Tobago, signed in January 1997, accorded each other the most favored nation status. Bilateral trade between the two countries had grown to over $110 million in 2013, says India's High Commissioner Gauri Shankar Gupta.
Our current bilateral trade is in the range of $110 million. There are 6 Indian companies that have their offices in Port of Spain. These include Bank of Baroda and the New India Assurance Company. ArcelorMittal, an international company with Indian roots, has a large steel mill with over 2,000 employees.
Did you know that Nobel laureate Sir V.S. Naipaul is a Trinidad-born British writer of Indian descent? V.S. Naipaul studied in the Queen's Royal College in Port of Spain.
Contacts between Trinidad and Tobago in the educational field are also fairly significant, with students from the Twin Islands coming to India to study in its schools and universities.
High Commissioner Gauri Shankar Gupta tells us more about this aspect of relations between the two countries.
Trinidadian students also go to India on cultural scholarships as also under diaspora programs. We also have 3 chairs, one in Indian studies, one in Hindi and one in Ayurveda at the University of the West Indies.
Many schools and universities in Trinidad teach Indian dance and music. Hindu temples here also stand testimony to the cultural affinities between the two countries.
Staging the Ram Leela is a notable annual event in Trinidad and Tobago. Indian High Commissioner Gauri Shankar Gupta talks about the popularity of Indian festivals and foods in Trinidad and Tobago.
There are many beautiful temples in Trinidad. Indian festivals like Ram Leela, Diwali, Holi, Mahashivratri, Ganesh Chaturthi and Eid are celebrated with traditional fervor. Diwali Nagar in Trinidad has emerged as an international brand for celebration of Diwali. Variants of Indian food such as roti, chola bhatura and Indian curry can be found everywhere.
The most important cultural event in Trinidad and Tobago is the Carnival, introduced to the Trinidadians by the French in the late 18th century. During the Carnival, revelers dressed in colorful costumes dance on the streets, swaying to the tunes of calypso music.
Trinidad and Tobago is also known for its steel pan music, which uses the steel pans as musical instruments. In fact, steel pans are the national instrument of this country.
People-to-people contacts have been fostered by the presence of a large number of people of Indian origin in Trinidad and Tobago.
Not surprisingly, a number of radio and television stations broadcast exclusively Indian film music and Indian television programs, says High Commissioner Gauri Shankar Gupta.
There are 6 radio stations that air Bollywood songs and devotional music round the clock. 4 TV stations telecast Hindi movies and Bollywood songs. Bollywood films are as popular here as they are in India, and they are regularly screened in the local cinema halls.
That was steel pan music based on the music from the Bollywood film Kuch Kuch Hota Hai.
Blessed with spectacular beaches and deep blue waters, Trinidad and Tobago is a tourist paradise.
The amazing corals of the South Atlantic and the exotic aquatic life such as whale sharks and giant Atlantic manta rays also make the islands a major tourist destination.
So take a trip on a cruise ship or enjoy a game of cricket, passion of both Trinidadians and Indians alike.
Or take time out for other popular activities such as golfing, yachting or powerboat racing.
That wraps up our visit to Trinidad and Tobago.
But before we go, here's a question for you.
What is the name of the Indian origin Nobel laureate who was born in Trinidad? Send in your answers with your full address to indiajourney360@gmail.com. The first 3 winners will get a music CD from the AIR archives and a DVD from the Ministry of External Affairs.
Congratulations Mahindra Shinde from Pune in Maharashtra, Shweta from New Delhi and Syed Abdul Basir from Latur in Maharashtra for sending in the right answer to a question on Qatar. Doha Bank opened its first branch in Mumbai last year.
So until next time then, goodbye.
And travel safe.